Okay, so for this video, we're going to do the chapter summary for chapter 1 of Ramona. So we just read that one, so now we're just going to kind of talk about what that chapter was about and write it down. And this will help us later on to work on our understanding the story, which is an assignment that you guys will do yourself. So the chapter summary is definitely something that you could be looking at while you're working on that page, as well as just going back to the chapter and rereading parts of it. So the first question is, what is the title of the chapter? So I'm going to go back to my book and find the start of the chapter. So it says the 1, and then it's going to say what the title of the book is, or the title of the chapter is. So it's called The First Day of School. So titles are always capitalized. So every word's going to be capitalized. The first day of school. Then what happens in this chapter? So as you can tell, there's not enough room for us to write every single detail that happened in the chapter. So we're just going to write the main points, the big things that happen, the most important parts of this chapter, not every single tiny detail. So I would say at the beginning, we want to go in order, right? So at the beginning of this chapter is when they're talking about the Quimby family. So one of the things that we learned is that Mr. Quimby is going back to school to become an art teacher. So let's write that. Then another big part is that we learn that Ramona is going to a new school. She's never been there before. It's totally new, and this is her first day. And so if you guys remember, do you guys remember what Mr. Quimby gave Ramona? Yeah, the pink eraser. So we're going to write about the pink eraser, and somebody steals it. So that guy, Danny the yard ape, that's what she calls him, steals her pink eraser. So I'm going to say, kind of to combine all those things. On the first day at her new school, Danny steals her new pink eraser. And she's really bummed about that, right? Because it was something special that her dad gave her. So she doesn't give up. She keeps fighting and says that he needs to give it back. So she ends up standing up for herself and saying, you need to give me back that eraser. And so she gets the eraser back. So let's say Danny gave her her eraser back. So I think those are the main points of this chapter. So I'm going to leave it at this. Now, if you have not a lot of space and you didn't go all the way to this line, you can always try to add a line below it or get another piece of paper and finish it, but I think that you should be able to fit all of that on all those lines. Then this next question, what is your favorite part of this section of the book? So in this part of the book that we just read, what's your favorite part? This is going to be different for everyone. So I'm just going to start it for you, and you finish the sentence with your favorite part. I like when... and you finish it and then add a period. So I like when Ramona stands up for herself. I like it when Mr. Quimby tells Ramona that he's going back to school. Say your favorite part. Then it says, what new words did you learn in this chapter? You just have to put 3 new words you learned in this chapter. You can go back in the chapter and find those 3 words that you didn't know about before and write them down. Or something that's sometimes helpful for me is that if you go back, you have a dictionary detective page. These are all words that were in chapter 1. We're going to go over all of these words. And so if you want to add that to your list, that's a great way of saying what we learned. But you could also go back in the chapter and find your own words that you want to include. Then it says, draw a picture of something you think represents this chapter. This can be anything you want. It could be a picture of the new school. It could be a picture of Mr. Quimby going back to school. It could be a picture of Mrs. Whaley, her new teacher. Or it could even just be, what I'm going to do is just draw a pink eraser. So later I can color it in pink. And I think the eraser kind of represents this chapter because it was a big part of what she was missing and what she got during this chapter. Okay, that's it.